If you're not going to work, then get out. I'm tired of supporting a woman like you. When my husband, Henry, said this, something inside me snapped. Why should I put up with someone like him? A man who looks down on others just to feel better about himself? I don't need a man like that in my life. My name is Louise, and I'm 36 years old. I work from home as a freelance illustrator. I've always loved drawing, so I went to art school and later worked for a design company. When I turned 30, I finally took the leap and started my own business. Back then, I was single and focused on doing what I loved, but then I met Henry through a friend. We got along well, fell in love, and got married a year later. Henry worked for a company that had offices all over the world, so he traveled a lot. Because of his demanding job, he wanted me to be a full-time housewife. I agreed and stopped working as an illustrator after we got married. Since Henry was always busy, I understood that someone had to take care of the home. I believed that marriage was about supporting each other, so I had no complaints. I thought I could still practice my art and return to work when the time was right. I loved Henry, and I believed he loved me too. We trusted each other, and life was good. But things changed when Henry got promoted. He was given a new position as the general manager of a sales office, which meant we had to settle in a new city. We had moved often because of his job, so we were both happy to finally stay in one place. For the first time in a long while, I started thinking about my own future. Maybe I could work again. But reality was different. Henry was busy with his new role, and we soon realized that our rent was higher than expected. His salary was enough for us to survive, but we were struggling. Since his company didn't cover rent, we had to use our savings. I wanted to save money for the future, but at this rate, we wouldn't have any savings left. So, I asked Henry if I could start working again. I assured him I would still manage the house, but his response surprised me. I'll allow it, but you still have to take care of everything at home. His words felt wrong, but I brushed it off. I had supported him all this time, and maybe he was just feeling anxious about our new life. I was excited to work again. But soon, Henry started acting differently. What is this? He asked one night at dinner. It's pork chops with mashed potatoes and vegetables, I said. This is garbage. You're home all day, and this is the best you can do? Henry had never spoken to me like that before. I won't get any energy from this kind of food, he continued. I tried to explain. I bought carrots, Brussels sprouts, and potatoes because they were on sale. And you like pork chops, don't you? Henry's face turned red. Are you saying my salary isn't enough? He shouted. I shrank back, shocked. That's not what I meant at all. Do you know how hard I work for you? I just got promoted, and you dare to complain? I wanted to defend myself, but stopped. Henry was under a lot of stress. He was responsible for his team at work and providing for us. So instead of arguing, I said, I'm sorry. Maybe he was just exhausted. And so, I convinced myself to let it go. But Henry's bad attitude didn't stop. Hey, you're not cleaning the bathroom properly. Where's the shirt I was supposed to wear today? You'd better brush my shoes. Henry had never been like this before we moved. What was wrong with him? Every day, he yelled at me. I started doubting the man I had married. Balancing housework and my job was harder than I expected. If I focused on housework, I had no time to work. If I focused on work, I couldn't keep up with house chores. One day, I asked, now that I'm working, could you help with some house chores? Henry scoffed. You're ignoring the house because of your stupid job. Just quit it already. You work from home, so don't act like you're important. It's not like you make much money. You're just a housewife, but you think you're better than me. His shouting became a daily thing. To Henry, I was nothing more than a housewife, no matter how much I worked. How selfish. I didn't earn much, but that was because Henry kept making it harder for me. I was fed up, so I did only the bare minimum of housework and focused on my work instead. But that made Henry even angrier. The gap between us grew bigger and bigger. Then, one day, while cleaning, I found his payslip. Ugh, he's so careless, just leaving this around. I picked it up out of curiosity. I already knew his salary, but I had never seen his actual payslips before. What I saw shocked me. His salary was only half of what he had told me. What's going on? Just then, my phone rang. It was Henry's uncle, Jack. Louise, it's been a while. Oh, Jack, what's wrong? I hate to bring this up, but I've been lending Henry money. It's been a long time, And I was wondering when he's going to pay me back. Since I lent him the money, I've been worried that he won't pay me back. What? He owes you money? Everything suddenly made sense. Henry had borrowed money from Jack to cover up the missing part of his salary. He had lied to me. The amount he borrowed? Around $10,000. I apologized to Jack and promised to pay him back. Even though Henry had done something so awful, Jack didn't blame me. He just said gently, "As long as he pays me back, it's fine." That night, I had enough. I didn't confront Henry about his debt or the payslip, but my anger kept building. He had looked down on me, forced me to do all the housework, and even got in the way of my job. Yet, he still acted like I was the problem. When will you learn to do proper housework? The food is terrible. The living room is dirty. What have you been doing all day? Playing around with your silly job? Being a housewife is so easy. I finally snapped. Do you even hear yourself? I cook. I clean, just as much as you. If you don't like it, do it yourself. You come home early enough now, so why don't you help? Henry slammed the desk. Since when did you get so bossy? Don't get carried away. Who do you think supports you? I shot back. What's so bossy about asking for help? I'm doing my part, what about you? I glared at him. I didn't have to put up with this anymore. Henry didn't back down. You don't even do your job right. All you do is pretend to work. Why don't you earn some real money first? I clenched my fists. That should have been my line. Then Henry smirked. I should never have married you. You're draining all my money. If you think we don't have enough, then go earn it. If you won't, then get out. I'm sick of supporting a woman like you. He looked at me, satisfied, like he had won. He probably thought I'd cry and apologize. But instead, I said, "Fine, I understand. I'll leave." I grabbed the suitcase I had already packed. Henry scoffed. You can't do anything on your own. What makes you think you can? I looked at him coldly. Oh, and I'll leave this too. I've already filled out my part. I slammed the divorce papers on the table. His face froze in shock. Well, that's that. Fill them out and submit them ASAP, okay? I turned and walked out. I had already told my parents everything, and they welcomed me with open arms. When they heard about Henry's behavior, his debt, and his lies, they told me to divorce him immediately. I had no doubts. I wanted out. But would Henry even sign the papers? My father reassured me, if he refuses, I'll help you get a lawyer. A week later, Henry showed up at my parents' house. Did you sign the divorce papers? I asked. Henry hesitated. I'm sorry, I'm only asking if you signed them or not. Henry's face crumbled. Please don't divorce me, he begged at the front door. I was perplexed by Henry's sudden change in attitude. For someone so arrogant, his shift was unexpected. My parents looked at him suspiciously, but I decided to hear him out and invited him inside. Actually, I wasn't even promoted at work. Henry's so-called promotion had been a lie. The truth? He had been demoted and transferred to a branch office, which explained his lower salary. Henry had never been particularly skilled at his job. I had noticed his incompetence before, but I never imagined it had been bad enough to get him shuffled from one department to another. Now, he was stuck in a small, dead-end position with no hope of moving up. Too proud to admit the truth, he had faked his success. After losing his status at work, he started belittling me to boost his own ego. I thought I was a great husband just because I was supporting you as a housewife. So that was it. Henry had disrupted my work and treated me horribly just to maintain his fragile pride. I understand everything now that you're gone. You were actually making a lot of money, huh? Before I left, I had deliberately left a copy of my bank book in Henry's room. My income wasn't as high as it used to be, but it was still enough to cover expenses. I finally realized that I need you. I can't pay the rent alone, but if we work together, we can make it work. Let's start over. I want to be with you. I won't ever treat you that way again. Henry had tears in his eyes, but I felt nothing for him anymore. If you can't afford the rent, why not just move somewhere cheaper? And what about your debt? Don't you need to pay Jack back? Henry's expression shifted. How do you know about that? Even after all this, he was still hiding things from me. I shook my head. If you truly wanted a fresh start, don't you think I had the right to know about your debt? My father, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. You're too dishonest, Henry. I can't trust my daughter to you anymore. Henry didn't argue. He knew he had nothing left to say. If you refuse to sign the divorce papers, I'll get a lawyer involved, I warned. Your verbal abuse, everything you said to me, is enough evidence for a divorce, and I have proof, so be prepared. Henry let out a defeated sigh and reached into his bag. Slowly, he pulled out the divorce papers. I really can't take this back, huh? It's too late, we're strangers now. I took the papers from him. Now, I'm focused on my career as an illustrator. I never imagined that leaving Henry would change my life so drastically, but I have no regrets. You only live once, so it's better to live happily, on your own terms.